feeling more inspired today? Yes, actually, yes. Um, so if you were in the last stream, also, first of all, hello, how's everybody doing? But if you were in the last stream, obviously we ended that off with a little bit of a sad note, I guess. I couldn't figure out what the hell I wanted to do. After that stream, I took some time just thinking by myself, and I came up with an idea that I think is interesting enough to be the direction that I want to pull it into. I'm gonna pitch it to you. Or it's a little weird, but I think it'll be very unique and interesting. So, by the rough sketches that you can see, the idea is basic. Hold on, I actually have something for this. I can point at things. Hold on, look. So, by by the rough sketches you can see here, I came up with the idea of, or I need to actually figure out how to talk first. Um, I went back to step one and basically asked myself how or why I liked the bug design more. Like the little bug, the weevil that we designed. Why did I like that one more? And I think the reason is because it started off with what purpose does it have, and what thing related to sewing can can fulfill that purpose, right? Does that make sense? So and then what we came up with that was, oh, seam cutters, scissors. There you go. And that was the starting point that helped us like put the design together, was figuring out what thing we could use to make it serve its function. So I had to ask myself that the same thing with this grunt, which its main function, I guess, is capturing people, but I thought the main function of it was, okay, how the hell does it put people in cocoons? That has the most interesting possibility for its design to be influenced by that function, right? And I thought, okay, it needed to do it quickly. What can make really big, quick, like large pieces of cloth to wrap something in? And I thought, what if we just put a whole ass loom inside the design? Just have its rib cage be a giant loom, like looms that are used to make like big pieces of fabric. Um, the reason I came up with this idea at first was actually because I was at a friend's house with my girlfriend, and she mentioned a movie we recently watched called The Ritual. It's like a 2017 maybe movie where like people go into the forest and there's like a monster in the forest that's like a Nordic god or whatever, a child of Loki or something. But the design of that, it immediately made me think of that scene in that movie where the monster of the movie, which is like a giant elk deer thing, basically stands up on its hind legs and like it's huge. It's absolutely huge, towering over you, or the main character. And when it like rears up, its chest is like really big, obviously, because it's like a weird deer thing. And I thought of that, and I was like, you know what? That's some really cool proportions. I want to use that as inspiration. So what if I use like I sort of drew that pose where it like stands up on its hind legs, and its midsection is just this really big chunk of metal, um, which is supposed to be a loom, is amazing. Yeah. Oh, its body is a loom. Yes. So basically, it would capture people and then stuff it into its rib cage and make like weave a carpet around you, pretty much. Like it'll emboss you into the loom's fabric that it's like quickly shuffling together around you. And so like that sort of, I think that's the direction I want to go in. It gives it this really big, like it's a lot bigger. It ended up making it so the thing had to be a lot bigger than I was initially anticipating. Like this is the size scale to a human, pretty much. If we wanted the loom to fit a person, then the thing needed to be huge. But I think that works in its favor. It's basically like a cow-sized thing that stuffs you inside its like Iron Maiden like chest and then weaves a cocoon around you. But yeah, so I got that idea. How is it created? That's the other issue. Is like how the fuck is this thing created? Because with the bug, it's like, yeah, the metal pieces are small enough where you could justify um it having been like created with magic, but this is a whole ass loom. Are you telling me that the witch of sewing just constructed a whole fucking loom to shove into the chest cavity of this thing? So we sort of need to figure that out. Like, what are we saying that? Oh, actually, I came up with a solution right away. What if we just say she literally, like, her layer is literally in some sort of fabric facility. Like, that's it, literally it. She took residence in a fabric manufacturing facility of Rom that had giant looms, and then she just turned those looms into minions. Like, she made legs and arms to have them walk around. Shit, we witching it in here. Yeah, I think that's like the most reasonable um excuse I could come up with. That will be fun to think about. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Also, just a perfect layer for a sewing witch, I'd say, is just a fucking fabric factory. Just like the big rooms that used to have the looms in rows that now wander around as her minions, and it's now like covered in webbing and shit like that she sewed herself. And also it means that these guys could very well be responsible for like um I'm hesitant to use the word terraforming, but it's the one I can come up with. But these would be the ones that are also responsible for terraforming the environment to suit the sewing witch, like the giant like tapestries of cloth that cover the trees and blanket the environment that slowly grows the area of influence of the sewing witch. I think these guys would make sense to be creating those because, well, their rib cage is literally a giant loom, so it makes sense that they can just make blankets upon blankets of material to drape everything in, right? But yeah, I think this was an epiphany that was interesting enough to be like, yeah, I can base a design around this. Now, here's the problem. Looms are really complicated. If you haven't realized yet, by looking at the references, I have no fucking idea what the hell is going on here. I mean, I know how a loom works. It's not like a mystery to me. I know that it's like a row of threads basically, and then there's these separating uh pieces that put them on different levels so you can basically pass a string through them, and then there are these like, oh, hold on, I'm not utilizing it to my full potential. Then there's this thing that pushes that string that got passed through and tamps it down next to the other one, so it makes a connected piece of cloth. But this is a simplification, and to have all the elements for that to actually be automated makes it look like an absolute fucking mess. It's just yeah, for drawing's sake, it is really hard to make sense of this. And the issue is I'm not making it easier for myself, because this is a loom that makes one piece of fabric in one direction. The issue we have is we need to have pretty much two looms smashed next to each other that encase a person into a cocoon, because it's a rib cage. I'm basically torturing myself because I can have it just be one loom. Like, the most easy way would be to have it make one piece of fabric and just roll it around a guy, and then just carpet, like rolling somebody in a fucking burrito shell. Done. Or a burrito tortilla. Just roll them up. Done. But that wouldn't be symmetrical, right? And we want to go with the like cool rib opening Iron Maiden like design, which means we basically need to have two looms next to each other, simultaneously creating two blankets that wrap around them on both sides and then get stitched together in the middle, I guess. Issue being, how the fuck do we design that? Rotary things? I have thought of that. Somebody did suggest that in the Monster Garden chat. The rotary like crochet things that basically make like beanies and stuff like that. And I do see it, but I think I need to go with the loom. Like that would totally work as well, but just look at this thing. I think just the absurdity of having a bear or cow sized thing with four limbs and then just a fucking brick of a loom in its rib cage, making up its rib cage. It's just such a cool silhouette that I think I wouldn't get the same kind of silhouette if I were to have used like the crochet rotating things, right? Because then it'd have to be some sort of tube shaped creature. But I really like just the fridge midsection. And so another very weird influence I want to take, or another very weird inspiration I want to take from is for some reason when I was drawing up the loom, the idea of how the pieces like shuffle together, absolute the absolute aura to the loom being yeah, I feel like it's such an imposing shape, I think, because like giant mechanical things that are like brick shaped like this is already like the fuck is that? And to have a creature that's big enough to lug that whole thing around is terrifying, right? I think it's more terrifying uh uh than if it was nimble, right? And we're losing some aspects of it. I mean, obviously, I don't think this thing would fit into a tight tunnel or into small spaces, obviously. But it's supposed to be this lumbering uh 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 um stalking predator. And I think it's more scary if it can't fit into those places because it doesn't eat. The thing doesn't eat. It just keeps running off of magic. So if you're stuck in a small space and it's basically like surrounded it with its string to alert it to your present if you attempt to get out, then you're fucked. But instead of it being able to enter, it just waits for you. Centipede monkey. Uh Mix the mechanical with flesh horror. Is there a reason there's so much stuff about it? Mixing the mechanical with flesh horror. I mean, yeah, mechanical and flesh stuff is always cool. And the thing is, the this reference picture, I love it. I love this reference picture because if you really squint or like think about it, it does kind of look like a rib cage, doesn't it? Like the tons of strings coming down like this are the separate ribs, and this giant bracket at the top is like the spine of a creature. Like you can that's I literally just stuck like this big old bracket in front here, and that's where like the back muscles attached to, or the sewn back muscles attached to, sort of like a bear, you know. So I'm definitely going like it does sort of remind me of a bear in the end. What are the different category witches? I don't know yet. It's too big to eat only mana. Well, that's the fun part. It doesn't rely like if you look at it, it won't have any magic intakes on it, I don't think at all. It won't have any magic intakes because it solely relies on its ability to make giant blankets that attract mana on its behalf. So it isn't I don't think it would have any inputs on itself. It would have some inputs next to its territory where it makes its den. Just these giant webs that attract mana for it, and then strings that lead to this thing. And anytime it wants to move somewhere further, it'll just have to find more material to make big attractors for itself so it can keep like inching along. Yeah. So that's why its design can like rely on that. But that also gives it a really interesting weakness because now it's basically a remote controlled thing, right? Its power source is far away, and one of the strings that is attached to it is the string that is fueling it, right? Because we also thought about that it has the ability to lay down a cord like a web that alerts it to your location if you trip it, right? But now it has a bunch of those, but there's one of them that fuels it. So if you're in a situation where you're fighting against this thing, you need to avoid all the strings, but there's one of the strings that fuels it. So you could, in theory, risk cutting all of them, which means alerting it, but also if you eventually cut the right one, it'll soon run out of fuel. Right? So it's also like it gives it an interesting mechanic. All you need there is a flamethrower. Yes. And also flamethrowers is a very easy solution to them. And I think that's totally fine. Having them have a weakness, perfectly fine. No problem with that. It's good if they have a weakness. If they're literally just impervious and immortal, then that's no fun. But yeah, and I went off on a bit of a different tangent. I was gonna say something else. The shuffling of the sewing machine, like sewing the cocoon around their victim, reminded me of something because you might see that there's quite a weird reference in this image. This, what the hell is this? This is a a factory, a land factory from a RTS game called Supreme Commander 2. I don't play the game. I only play the first one. I only play Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, like the community supported thing. But the second game, I distinctly remember watching Let's Plays of it when I was a kid, and this factory stood out to me because of how satisfying it looks when the factory is functioning. You see that it has like this very repeating like rib pattern on the top. And when it's building units, all those components shuffle down and to the side and then down to the side and down to the side. And it has these little bits here that also like shuffle along as well. And as soon as I was thinking of the loom idea, this came to mind because that also reminds me of a sort of like it when the factory is working, it looks like it's like building a fucking carpet or something, right? Can you make a video comparison of the melody doctrines of Ramen Ruse? Maybe, but yeah, I want to incorporate that somehow because I have this like visual image of how I want the the loom to function when it's like sewing, and it has this like rib shuffling feel to it. Uh, 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 what else? What else? Hold on, I was gonna say something. I completely forgot it. It was an absolute nightmare to find a video of this thing working. By the way, I get it because no, not many people like Supreme Commander 2. Apparently it's not as good as the first one. Blah blah, whatever. People upset. But that man was really hard to like. I had to sift through videos of Let's Plays to find somebody who was playing the Cybran faction, which has this factory, and then watch or find a part of the video where they construct this factory. And the issue is because it's an RTS game, most of the time they're playing zoomed out like this, so you barely see any of the buildings or units. You just see the icons of them. So it was really hard to find a specific video of somebody who built the factory and then zoomed in on the factory and stared at it long enough to like get a good look at it actually doing its thing. Right? Hold on. I'm going to send it into the chat. This is the part that I found, and you'll immediately understand what I mean with like the shuffling making me think of like sewing or like a loom making a carpet or like a piece of fabric. I love it. I absolutely love how it looks when it's working. I already timestamped it, so you just have to click into the video. Hold on. This is the best I could find. Yeah, here you go. Click into that and you'll get what I mean. It like shuffles back and forth, down and up, and then the little bits in the middle like go to the side as well. And I also imagine it's sort of, isn't there a wiki or something? There is. There is a wiki of it. There's many wikis of it, but there's none that show the fucking animation of it. Right? That's the issue. It's like I don't. Yeah, the visuals is what I'm looking for, but also the animation is what makes it what it is. Right? That's the thing that captivates me about that fucking factory. Right? So yeah, if you watch that video, you'll get it. It's so satisfying to watch that thing work, and that's why it like stuck into my head. The thing is, I watched Let's Plays of the game so young, when I was still like I didn't understand English, and I didn't know how to search for things on the internet and stuff, and I just happened to stumble upon somebody. Like a German Let's Play of this game where it was just goofing off with friends. And I saw that factory, and also just the game's visuals themselves like captivated me, but the factory like stood out to me as well. But for the longest time when I was a kid, I thought I just dreamt up the fucking game. Like I was like, I'm sure I saw this. No, I don't think I thought I dreamt it up. I knew it was something. Like it was some sort of game, but it was so faintly in like it was such a haze in my memories, and I couldn't think of the name for the life of me because I couldn't understand what part of the video was the name or if it had the name in the title or whatever. So I scoured for years to find a fucking game like RTS games. Which one is this damn game with this stupid factory and the weird floating brain and UFO? And I did finally find it. I was like, oh, it's Supreme Commander, and it's the second one. It's Supreme Commander 2. Uh, how did you even think of this? I don't know. I guess it's a really good example of how different people's visual libraries and experiences shape the designs that they come up with and create, because I don't think anybody else this is not like me bragging or anything. It's just me being, it's just specific to each person. They'll come up with different solutions. But I don't think anybody else would think of, oh, let's stuff a loom into a bear. Like, yeah, you can probably get to that point. But then being like, okay, this loom bear specifically reminds me of this one factory, of this one faction of an RTS game I saw as a kid. You know, I don't think anybody would make that connection. Like that's a unique thing, right? And that's why I love like brainstorming with you guys and chat as well, or why it's so good to like bounce ideas off of other people as well, because you can't predict what kind of niche very specific experiences other people have had that gives them a very unique and personal like visual library that they can build off of, right? So you only build off of the shit that you've seen and you know, but if somebody else gets introduced into that machine, they give you ideas that you've never thought of because they have different things to build off of. Talking about looms and obscure games, yeah, yeah. Actually, my great great grandfather shoved a loom into a bear and inspired the original machine. Ah, sorry, I'm stealing off of you. You found out the truth. I stole your grandfather's design. I actually went into his study and searched through his dusty drawers of his concept book where he drew up a bear with a loom for a rib cage. You finally have an idea for the brutes. Yeah, yeah. The only issue is I still need to figure out how the hell to make the loom chest work. And the thing is, okay, we don't need to make it actually work, right? That's impossible. I'm not going to be able to design an actually functioning loom, and that's not necessary. We just have to draw it well enough that it looks like it could work, right? That's the art of winging it. Like we just have to make it look plausible enough. And that's the goal. We're gonna draw this bear thing and make it look plausible enough. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's. I came back. I got an idea, and that's what we're going with. So if one of the moving rib parts gets stuck, what happens? The others still work, probably. Well, no. I don't. It's not that they're big rollers. So we're gonna make it look like ribs, but it's not like it's tiny separate pieces. Uh, so they're gonna be this is the closest I've gotten to try and making it work. So the idea I have is that it's two looms next to each other like this, and there's the string like that goes around here, and then the string that goes around here. And then it sort of like crosses over in the middle somehow, making like a basket, um, like this. So they're two big rollers, or they're not separate parts. But the thing that's gonna be shuffling and like doing the thing, that's gonna be these things that shuffle like and put the cloth into like tuck it together into sheets. So the big piece of fabric will be here, and then we need like separate machines or separate strings that get run through these meshes. So this is like loads of strings next to each other, like this. And then this is also loads of strings like that. And then we need a piece of string that goes through this, like this, and then like a a shuffling board that then tamps that string down into a solid piece of cloth. So at this end, it's a solid piece of cloth like this, right? Does that make sense? Something like that. And we need to make that look functional enough. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna make that work. What if the bear breathed through bellows? Bellows would be really cool, actually. Yeah. If you have any new suggestions, by the way, go ahead and fucking throw them into the chat. I'd love it. Bellows would be really cool. To make it like more functional looking. It'd be cool to have them be like lungs. We do have quite a bit of space up here above the loom where like the where the arms connect, so we could have like lungs here, which can add to like the organ looking design as well. And then also those could power the I think I'm still sticking with the needles shooting out of the mouth. Because those are just cool. And I'm happy enough that the way of capture like we have the visual identity of the design being the giant loom in the chest, that we can have like, because last stream I was stuck on like there wasn't any part of the design that affected its visual design, right? It had different abilities of like, oh, it sews people up, it shoots needles out of its face, but I was bothered because none of those, like the shooting needle out of the mouth, didn't have any visual effect on its design, right? Because all that mechanical business was hidden in the mouth. So the design was basically like it didn't have any anchor point to build off of. But now that the way it like cocoons people is the giant loom that's like the anchor of the design, I can justify other parts being like more hidden because it doesn't need to influence the look of the creature, right? And it still sort of does in a smaller portion. The main focus is big loom torso. Now secondary can be the bellow lungs. I think that's really cool. I love that. Thank you for that suggestion. Stunt beast like locomotion. No, the muscles and stuff like that. Those are gonna be weird. They're like weird magic powered shit anyway. So we don't need to like make the limbs and stuff like that mechanically make sense. But the loom, I want to at least make it like I want to be able to capture this heavy industrial feel of this reference and like this factory from the Supreme Commander, you know? Like that's the main goal, is like we have to capture that heavy like I the sound that this thing makes, I think would be incredible. Right? I wished I could I wished I was a sound designer, I guess. That's what I'm saying. But like I can picture it in my head, this heavy sort of rhythmic shuffling of metallic components, sort of sounding like a deeper typewriter, like a loud, cacophonous typewriter, just frantically typing away, just you know. I don't know if that makes it, but I can hear it. Like I can hear this thing, and it sounds absolutely horrifying. Rule of cool, baby. Yeah. A Monza or Monster Garden? What do you mean? Who would win a Monza or Monster Garden? In like a physical fight? If it's a physical fight, he's beating the shit out of me. What the hell? Have you seen the dude? He's a fucking specimen. He's gonna beat the shit out of me. What do you mean? I'm just a fucking lump of lard sitting on my desk all day. He fucking win. And if it's our world building projects fighting each other's, his also wins. He has fucking cool as orcs and shit. Orcs and gods and everything like that. Like he's winning fucking flat out. No competition. Like I'm not fighting back. What about an old printing press? How do those sound? I don't know how those sound. I guess I associated with the sound of a typewriter because that's a sound I know in my head. But I don't know what like a big printing press would sound like. Um, how does his head look? It's a mummy. It's basically just a decayed, dried up human head. Uh, so here's another issue, or I guess not an issue. It's not really a problem. Because of the loom being here, we can't have the body of the corpse be there, obviously. So this takes up like this entire space, which means that the human body that makes up the head would go up like this. So it's basically like taking up this top portion here. Uh, which sort of it told me how big this thing had to be, because if this is a human body, that meant that this is, how tall a human would be compared to the rest of this whole thing. What if a Monza and Monster Garden fight Bloodvist in a physical fight? Who is Drago Bloodvist? Hold on, very curious. Is that another artist? Drago Bloodvist. The the bad guy from How to Train Your Dragon? What the fuck? How is that? How does that have any connection to me and Amonza world building? Like artist world builders fight fictional 3-dimensional character from a movie. I mean, he's built like a brick shit house, same as Stoic. So I don't think. I mean that they're on a different fucking level. He's built like a One Piece character, Dorito body. So I don't think. I mean, no, he's more like just a square, isn't he? I don't remember. But yeah, no, definitely not. I don't think we're winning. Stop. I don't think there's no benefit or there's no interesting conversation to be had in making up these incredibly one-sided hypothetical versus events. Like, oh, how would Simon fare against a fucking Viltrumite? Wouldn't that be interesting to talk about? No, I'd be dead. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. No need to theorize or make up any fucking fantasy scenarios. Like, wouldn't it be how would he fare against fucking Godzilla? I'd be dead. That's it. What if we gave him 24 hours of prep time though? just yeah, but like in the right circumstances. No. I'm dead. That's it. Red Mist, yeah. Ben versus War Dancer. Ben, like Ben 10 versus a War Dancer. How much control does the witch have over the shape of its creations? I don't know. I don't know. I think these parts are sewn. It's witch magic. I don't know. She has as much control over it as she needs to make this work. Hear me out. Give him an RPG. I'm sure he could win. No, I don't know how to fire one. What the fuck do you mean? I'd manage to blow myself up with the RPG if you gave me one. There's no fighting chance. You could give me a fucking tank. You could give me a tank to drive, but I won't be able to figure out how to drive the fucking thing in 24 hours. I'd lose. Okay, talking about SpongeBob, don't like we don't need to give any more like hypothetical versus scenarios because I'm declaring it today. I'd lose against SpongeBob. Like that's how shitty I am at fighting. Probably. I mean, saying that I SpongeBob's pretty good at fighting, knowing all the. He fought against giant robots in that classic SpongeBob game, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom or whatever it's called. So I mean that's not a good comparison of power, I guess. He could beat my ass. Beat my ass with bubbles. He'll blow a fucking imaginary big like cartoon boxing glove and just beat the shit out of me. Simon versus Darth Vader. Yeah, I'd take him. I'd take him. Just take out his fucking life support. There you go. Can you make an animal from Ram's fortress cities that are the equivalent of those cube watermelons? I think it would be interesting and it would make sense because they need a compact food. Wait, hold on. like, like you breed an animal to be a specific shape so they stack better, like a square pig. I mean, I don't think you'd have to do that. Okay, we talked about this in a previous video. Actually, this is something we've talked about before in a sort of different manner. Uh, we talked about if it was possible to put a growing baby's squishy head into a mold and have their head grow into that shape. And I think we came up with a solution that yeah, it would be possible. I mean, that exists, right? There's those cultures where they like put like ropes around kids' skulls to have them grow like an elongated shape, right? So I think it doesn't need evolutionary, like we don't need to breed pigs to make them square. We could just stuff baby piglets into a square mold and then fatten them up into that shape and they'll just hold that shape, right? So I think that'd work. Just put babies into a square mold and just have them grow into that shape. That'd be perfect. And have them be brick pigs, brick shaped pigs, and then you can just stack them up on a rack to save space. And have like a conveyor belt in front of their face that feeds them. There you go. Yeah, that would actually be really interesting. I like that idea. Saying that would have gotten you struck down in ancient Greece, probably. What? Or maybe instead of hold on, guy, it's just Minecraft. True. An idea of machine pieces as old knitting machine. What? TF for? I'm losing track. Ever heard of TF2? I mean, yes. Do you what? Do you? It would be woke if it released today. Ah, do you would be woke? Do I think TF2 would be considered woke if it released in today's age? I mean, I'm not knowledgeable in that field of the internet of like what's woke and like I don't even know what the fuck the definition of woke is anymore. I mean, I didn't know it from the get-go and I still don't know it now, so I don't know. I don't know. And I don't really care. It's a game where a blue and red team punch and shoot each other. And there's big guy with minigun and then small guy with shotgun and baseball bat. So I don't yeah, I can't keep up with this. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about at this point. Simon versus Steve. Yeah, dead. Again, I'm just dead. There's countless videos of people attempting to calculate how strong Steve actually is by filling up his inventory with stacks of golden blocks to figure out how much the dude can lift. He's invincible. That guy is I don't know. Ever seen the demo man? Well, yeah, I know the designs. The designs of TF2 are like iconic. Yeah, I know what each of them look like. I've never played it. Well, and no, I do think I did play it, like for literally a few minutes. I downloaded it and played it, and I was so bad at it. I was like, never mind. I'm not built for this shit. I can't. Oh, I can't aim. I can't aim. That's full stop. I can't play PvP games that don't have some way of alleviating the burden of having to aim from my shoulders, right? So that's why I enjoy like the finals so much. That's like one of the PvP games I can actually enjoy because they have melee weapons, which means I don't need to aim. So even though those melee weapons in that game are worse than the actual guns, it's still fun because I can bonk people on the head. Um, and even if I lose a match, it doesn't matter because I got to bonk people on a head. Pyro event. I didn't try pyro. I think it's my own fault that I had a very uh bad experience with it. I didn't hate the game. It's not like, oh, this game's terrible. No. I know the game's good and people enjoy it. No shit. That's why it's still around. Um, but I tried soldier and then spy, I think. And I was like, fuck, I'm terrible at this. I'd rather just watch people play it than having to learn this because it seems like everybody else knows what the hell they're doing. No strategy either, just smash attack. No, because the thing is, if it's a PvP game that has melee weapons, or anything that like breaks the traditional meta of the game. There is a strategy to it, but you're basically playing a different game from everybody else. That's sort of the type of weapon that I think appeals to me because I I played Mordhau, and in Mordhau I loved the bow. Even though I can't aim, I like the bow because I guess I just find weapons that go against the whole point of the game to be appealing because that game, the most interesting part about that game is uh the incredibly deep melee fighting mechanics, parrying, feinting, and that sort of shit. My brain can't go like I can't do that. So the bow that voids all of that learning. It's just, oh yeah, I could just shoot people, while other people have to actually figure out the mechanics of the game. Same with the finals, I guess, is like everybody else needs to shoot and actually be good at PvP and aiming, and I'm just over here bonking people on the head. And it requires a different skill set, I guess, because now the game isn't do I hit this guy? Like the game turned from do I can I track this guy's movement from a kilometer away with the little dot in the middle of my screen, and it changed from how can I force people into my range so I can beat them over the head with a big spoon. Which is fun, right? So it's like I need to play around the limitations of not having any range. So I need to be in small spaces, focus around being in buildings and closing off doors and stuff to funnel them into my range and forcing them to have to come close to me, which is fun. I like that. It changes the strategy or the goal of the game to be more about positioning rather than just being really good at poking heads or clicking on heads. Hero builder while other games are hero shooters. Yeah, I guess. I don't think Simon can win against a bird. Uh, okay, I mean, come on, a bird? Well, hmm. I was gonna say it depends on the bird, but I don't like things like flying at me. Like have you had things attacking you that can fly? Even if they're really small, it's really unnerving to deal with that? Because yeah, like they're nimble and they like fly around really quickly. So like even like a small bird, if it somehow had the incredible urge to try and kill me, like for some reason this bird just has a vendetta against me. It can be a fucking hummingbird for all I care, and it just decided it wanted me dead. Hummingbird. Yeah, I don't think I'd. Hmm. I hate to admit it, but I don't think I'd win against the hummingbird. They're really nimble, aren't they? Like they're really fast. I was gonna say like, oh yeah, I could beat small birds, but like ostriches and fucking swans, I'd lose against those. But now I'm thinking about like even the small ones, I think would beat my ass. Because the thing is, I saw those videos where it's like a fucking like a seagull swoops down and just pokes somebody in the eye. Like they're incredibly accurate as well. Like they can just fly around really quickly. You can't catch them, and suddenly like they swoop in and just poke your eyes. Because I'm 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 saying like if it's like a physical strength thing, of course I can just squeeze a hummingbird and it would, be over. But the thing is, to get to that point of being able to catch it and squeeze it, it has ample time to fly around and poke me in the eyes and blind me. And then it obviously what happens after that, right? It pokes both of my eyes. Then I go blind. I start stumbling around like a fucking like a giant in a movie, like lumbering around the room. And then it finds like it teams up with some spiders and creates like a long string that it then puts in its mouth and flies around my legs to bind them up, and then I fall over dramatically in slow motion like a giant in a movie, like oh, and then a group of ants moves a very precariously shaped spiked rock perfectly into the trajectory of me falling over, and I hit my head on the pointy rock and fucking die. Like that would happen if I fought the bird. Does Simon even know German? Yeah, yeah, I know German. I can speak German on the level of an 8-year-old. Uh, because I haven't been in Germany for so long and I don't have anybody to talk to. So I can speak German, but it sounds like, or I have the vocabulary of an 8-year-old. I can tell you, I can ask you how your day is. I can have like a simple conversation with my dad. But besides that, I can't talk to you about fucking like politics or anything. I know none of those words. Simon versus Raccoon. I'd lose. What? Hold on. What has this chat turned into? I mean, literally anything. I lose against anything. Okay, like any wild animal or creature. Like those things are designed to survive. Like they have that instinct of an incredible need to survive. Right? I'm losing against that shit. Like a raccoon. Like that shit's gonna beat me up. What do you want from me? I'm not built. I'm not built to be a fighter. I fucking draw. That's all I do. That's one of the only things I'm good at. Howdy, y'all. Howdy. What language do you think in? Um, it's like a mishmash. Mostly it's the one that I was talking in most recently. If I'm like it slowly transitions the more I talk in one or the other. Like while I'm in stream right now, I think in English because that's what I'm communicating in. But then if I talk to my girlfriend a lot and then I keep talking Thai, then slowly I'll just start thinking in Thai. He's talking about fighting raccoons. Yes, a chicken could win. Oh yeah, I don't like chickens. Okay, what am I doing? I'm not even drawing at this point. I'm just talking about what animals would beat me up. This is not a productive stream. Unpopular opinion: orc girls and elf girls equal both is good. Eh. So kind of forgot my. Well, I went back to watch the Witch video, the Witch, Witch, Witch video. Sorry, I'm completely obsessed over your design. Uh-huh. But corrupted Version ROM style features or pieces of what Version ROM stylistic features or pieces here. Wow. Draw a fish for once in your life. Never. Never. Those dirty water breathers will never touch my page. Water lovers. Those aquatic fiends. No fish. You have elves in the setting? No, not really. Okay, what the hell am I doing? Okay, hold on. I gotta step back a bit. I'm not fucking. Draw. Okay, draw. 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 I need to draw. The hell am I doing? Let's go. New lore, this world has no water. It does, I just don't want to touch it. Okay, how do we do the rib cage? I want sort of like an engine block shape to it, if you can imagine that. Um like the top of the back of the spine will be like this. And then I sort of want the shape to go like this somewhat. Cuz I think that's just a cool shape. Instead of just having it be a square, I think having it be like a pig nose square would be a lot more interesting, like that. So when it's closed, there'd be two rollers at the bottom, and then we'd have to have the fabric go up like this, and then just hang it, whatever. Hyman's doom scrolling. Yeah, I'm doom scrolling the chat pretty much. Like this. And then I want like something that shuffles in and out like these, which I guess we could put here on the side. Something that like shuffles in and out. Which can sort of look like the ribs. And then we also need something that goes up and down here. No, are these the separating ones? Uh, harnesses. What the fuck are harnesses? I think those serve the role of separating the two strings, the two layers of the strings. Yeah, so we'll have those up here too. So we can have something like shuffling up here too, like a hair comb or like that. So this moves up and down, and then this moves in and out. And how does that work? No idea. And then we need um the two rolls here that pass the string through whatever the fuck. Did you try the new painting app Leonardo? No, I haven't tried it. I have heard of it though. I watched a video on it where they said like, oh, it's the infinite canvas thing, and just it's very simple and easy to like understand and just has the essential tools that you need. I like that. I like that. I don't want to try it because I'm just well, I don't really have a reason to. You know, like I like Krita just because I'm used to Krita. That's pretty much it. So I'm not really looking for another program to move to. But I get why people find it appealing because it's like really easy to sketch on that. Uh, and like get ideas out and you could just keep moving the canvas and draw more. Something like this. I and then like we might need some sort of locking mechanism at the bottom that's also like sort of segmented and makes it look cool. Your favorite animal is the pelican spider. Are you serious? This thing? Really? This. Why? Why? Give me a reason right now. What the fuck about this thing? Just because it's like weird? I don't see anything appeal. It's the goofiest fucking looking thing in existence. Why this? Or does it have like a behavior that's interesting? Yeah, probably something. It's a pelican spider. It looks like abstract art. Seriously, when I searched up pelican spider, if you search it up, this is the best picture I could find of it that like shows off what the hell it is because I the if you search up pelican spiders, all the pictures show very clearly that nobody knows how the fuck to take a picture of this thing. Because like what the hell like what is the best angle to take a picture of this thing from? Now, its legs are way too long, so in most pictures, the legs are just these bundles of lines going across the screen covering the design, so you can't fucking tell what it is. Like, nobody knows how the hell to take a picture of this thing properly. All of them are a mess. This is the best one, but still, the legs are stupid and just clutter up the. Get out of the way. Oh, thank you. Hmm. Favorite animal has got to be either a hyena or Komodo dragon. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I love it. Don't talk bad about it. Again, you still haven't given a good reason for why you like it. Does it just call to you? Like a spirit animal style thing. It's just like it speaks to you on a spiritual level or something. Like, there's no good reason. I just don't get what I'm looking at. Yeah, I still don't know either. I think so. The head, that's its head up here. Why the fuck does it have this big stick and its head on the stick? I don't know. Then these two nibbons, or like these two things that look like a beak. That's why it's called a pelican spider. I'm guessing they come out of its face. I think those are like the like this stuff that's normally on the front of a spider's face, right? Those, but just incredibly long because the neck is long. These guys have to go down. Why? Put the head down. Put its fucking head down. Yeah, cocoons people. I like fruit bars. They're like dogs. I think you meant fruit bats. Fruit bars is funnier. Fruit bars. The fangs long. They're scary as shit. What do you mean they're scary? They're goofy. What you eating? It's a pretzel with Leberkäse on it. I think it's called Leberkäse.
what we call it, what my dad calls it. It's like basically just ham. Just ham, but some other shit put in it. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's like sliced pieces of meat. So it's basically just ham. Thank you. Did you give this thing a mullet? A mullet? Just to try it out? Nope. Loom is good. Sounds like a Pokemon. Loom. It still looks too thinly. But oh, how do I get the shuffling in there? Something like this. We won't be seeing the front of this anyway, so we don't really care about this. And we don't care about the back either. I just want like a side silhouette that's really interesting. Intersecting shapes are cool. Something. I'm basically stealing the I'm stealing the shape of the fucking RTS factory for my loom bear. I think having them be flat. Ting ting. Hmm. Still, no. Deeper than this. How does this work? Who knows? It just works. Oh. Not right. And then we need to think about which one looks the most interesting when it opens, too, because it's like the highlight of the design, isn't it? Yeah, it does look like an engine. I mean, that's intentional. Hmm. I've fucking expecting forward from the top, a whole who can far around. Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, it can't be an upside down shape. For some reason, like this shape, if it was this, it doesn't work. Fuck. I'm dying. It's gotta be this shape. Have you seen Autodale? Autodale. Sound? I don't know what that is. It's like some sort of bear loom Pokemon. Say that again. The hell am I doing? I'm basically just drawing the same thing over and over again for some reason. I just need to wrap my head around what the hell this thing. It just is really hard to make it make sense. Okay, hold on. Let's do it this way. I want to figure out what elements I like of this, and we have to have those. Right? That's like the main goal. So, I love this top shape right here. It's perfect. I'm just gonna keep that. Right? Like this swoop here, awesome. Then, whoops. Then, hello? I can't move my mouse. Hello? Mouse, thank you. Then, I do also like... There's these brackets that hold the bottom together, and then these things. So I think I'm gonna keep those two. I like how this is like separate, by the way. I like how it has like the middle cut out of it. That and this. And then it has two big there. There. And I like this stick going across, like the really cool feature. And what the hell is going on here? I do like things hanging off of it as well. This. Do you have any book recommendations that similar vibe to your world? No, I don't read books. Have any book recommendations? Okay. And now what? I like this part where the string or whatever it is goes over the edge like this. I really like this. You know, and I like how it sort of has a sharp corner as well. What the hell is that even? I don't think that's the actual. Is this even a loom? I don't know if this is a loom. Whatever this is, though, it's cool. So like, we want some sort of sharp edge for the string to catch on, or a round edge, I guess, like a roller, because that transition is really nice to look at. Be nice to have something like this, right? We don't want the string coming right out of this middle portion. We want to bulk up the top at least a little. This, so it has some travel time. And also, I think having the string not be here would be interesting. So it like goes down again, so we can have like small rollers here. Maybe this, and then the string goes there, and then it cuts in here. That, right? And then I like these like swooping shapes of these things. So to hold this like stuff together, we'd need some sort of something like that. Now, we need the shuffling. How do we incorporate the shuffling? It's it would make the most or look the most interesting if it was somewhere like here. Also, I'm gonna have a separate bar here at the bottom. So there's the rollers, and then there's an outer bar that has like locking hooks. So that when they touch with the other one, they sort of clutch each other, like interlocking fingers. Um, what's the movement I'm looking for? I'm thinking about what movement I want out of the shuffling element. Do I want it to go up and down or left and right? Or both? One, you know what? I think if we have two layers of it, it might be cool looking. So we have like, if they're like separate rods, this, right? Um, we have a layer of them that's here, and then we have another layer like further down. And we can have those like shuffling out of sync. Something. Let's see. What if they're like more curved? Sort of works. Maybe shuffling the strings towards the outside, pulling and pushing them towards the outside as if something is trying to break out. Yeah, that would be interesting. Like have this string actually like move with the pieces instead of just having these like shuffling into it without actually disturbing the surface. Think about that. Actually, Strandbeast like movements is interesting, what you just mentioned. Because I'm sort of thinking instead of maybe all of them shuffling together, it could be like a wave motion. That can work too. Uh, hmm. Kind of works, but still. So the way it would be moving, I'm sort of thinking is like this thing it's stuck on is still, um, and it would be like, whoops, on the same layer. Yeah, it would just be sort of going in, then down, then out, then in again, like this. This, maybe the other way around. So the whole, yeah, be a lot easier if it wasn't on the same layer now. But this whole block could go like shuffle like this, sort of. Hold on. To make that obvious mechanically, I actually have quite an idea. It'd be a lot more fun if these, hold on, like this, like this. I'll draw it to the side so I don't forget it. Have these like ribs. Um, have a slot at the top that has a pivot point like this. So this moves in and out, and then this moves up and down. I think that would look a lot more satisfying, actually. Hold on, I gotta restore the engine without the pivots so I can redraw them. You know, to have these stick out would be fun. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Rollers. There. Okay. Try again. So instead, we're gonna have it so each of these pieces have a little thingy, and then they can do the swooshy whatever. And stick, disappear somewhere into the, and then that can be hidden. I think that also like sort of mimics the rest of what it looks like that swooping shape and then like some sort of point and then bracket makes it look similar to what the main structure looks like. I don't like that swoop. Hold on. You just have it stick down, straight down for now. I don't think I want them connected. It makes it look a lot more strange to have them not connected, and we can have these bars in the back be connected instead. I'm really bad at drawing this right now. But you can sort of get an idea of what the hell I'm trying to do. So then basically, um, this, this, there you go. So these can move like this, right, along this line. And then the whole assembly that they're attached to can shift them in and out like this too. So they go like that. I think that makes them look quite mechanical, right? And then if we want to go even further than that, we could have two separate versions of it that are like intersecting or like layered on top of each other. This is a little hard to look at, but like one that it's cycling. So one is up, one is down, then this one goes back, this one goes forward, then it goes up and down, and it's mirrored on the other side. So it looks like it's basically two panels like this If we're making all of these into just one sheet, right? It's two panels like this, um, that are just slightly offset, like this. So this one moves that way, this one moves that way, then this one goes up, then this one goes down, then this one goes to this side, this one goes to that side. So it's just two squares like going over each other, or through each other. And this one has, the separate pieces like this, and then the black one has separate pieces that interlock in between these ribs. I think that's like a cool enough function that it looks enough like it's doing something. Like we only need it to look like it's doing something, right? And I think this can make it look like that. Now we just okay, do we want the sticks sticking up or do we want them sticking out? That might be because the factory that I'm taking inspiration from, they have it sticking out. The visual cool part of it is that it goes this and then the sticks come out and the rails are there. So we might want to have it that way. Well, and let's try and draw it both ways a little cleaner and see what it looks like. Just like actually trying to make it look good. I gotta clean up this first to give it a good base to play off of. It makes sense to me, all right? I'm doing something. Like this. And some sort of rollers, blah blah blah, whatever. We don't need to care about that as much. Okay, and then hold on. I'm gonna draw the other side just to have it symmetrical. Get a better idea of what the hell it would look like if it was fully there. This would be where the other side. Then we also have the strings that get passed through mesh, going like this. They sort of look like collarbones as well, which is neat. I'll not draw them now because they'll cover up this and make it more confusing. Okay, now we do the 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 mesh thingy. I think I want them like this big. They go far, like this far down. They disappear into the fabric. The pin. And then put a little curve into this to make it similar to the the insect design that we did, like the legs of that. And then we point it up, have the rail that it runs along here. And then we can add like a little swoop here as well if we want. Kind of get some like scissor imagery in there. And then do we want like a curve here? Would that do anything? I think it'd just make it more confusing. Yeah, not this. A little much. Have it be a simple brick for now, and then we'll play around with it later. There. Put that here. Gonna color it in. so that when I copy it multiple times, they won't overlap. Easier to tell what the hell is going on. I like this. There we go. Now we Control E, combine that into one thing, and then we can Control C, Control V, and just keep making more and move them along one. Make them a little smaller. C, Control V. Another one. E all together, and then Control V. A separate group so we can copy multiple over. The fuck did I just press? You seeing the vision? Is there a vision coming along? Right? Sorta? Control C, Control V. One more row. Whoops. Hello. Thank you for the $5. It's Riz. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. What about that? Huh? I think that looks pretty sick. If we clean it up and actually make it like the right perspective with that. And now, what if we have two layers of that so another row of this that goes in between these other ones. I should have thought of that ahead of time because it would have been easier to do that all at once. Let's just do it again. Will be copy one again. So that's one row. And now if we do and then offset one like this. Yeah. And then we there. Yeah. And then uh 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 I'd say that's pretty neat looking, right? It's a lot to look at, but having these like shuffle around at different intervals, the bottom row shuffling out, then the top one going in, then up, then this one going down and in, and this one out and down. So it's like it's circling. They're circling each other. But I think that's pretty cool. I like how mechanical and industrial that looks. And I like the little slit here as well, by the way. I just added that for... Give me a sec.
Okay, I'm back. Um, who else is watching this as part of the 3 a.m. gang? Oh, Jesus Christ. Go to sleep. What are you doing? What are you doing in here? Yeah, I'm liking how this looks. I think it goes down a little too far, though. Like, I think I want these a little shorter. Sort of like to here. But besides that, I'd say that's pretty interesting. And then we can just have um slots that these guys come out of, so we don't actually have to draw what the hell is going on mechanically. Just hide that. So there's this just these slots on the side, and we can have like some sort of spinning thing somewhere, like a wheel that shuffles along like a fucking gearbox or something. Yeah, I think that'll work. Can you call my job with a bomb threat so I don't have to go in? No, no, I don't think I will do that. Would people from Varu steal these here loom bears to use them to make cloth like the cat for the cash money? I don't know. What would these look like on the inside, though? Like, what are we looking at on the inside? I'm sort of thinking they would just be like a spanning net of strings for some reason that shuffle inside each other and you get laid onto that bed of string. And then somehow it magics you into a cocoon, who knows. But then so on the inside, if it's like open like this, so this is its cavity and it actually opens. Um, these would be poking through, so you'd be seeing the ends of them pretty much. And it'd be interesting to have the ends be very thin and sort of look like the head of a sewing machine. So have it like have little dials that can be adjustable and stuff. They'd be sticking out like this on both sides, and then like a long string going over each of them. And then there'd be a another pair of them here, obviously. That also has a string going through like that. How does it work? No idea. Oh, yeah, but I don't like them going like straight across without any change in like it's just a straight string, so it doesn't make it look very. It'd be more fun, I think, if we have some rollers here on the inside that help give some more shape to them. So if we have some here that get these to go under, that'd be more fun.
and somehow this turns you into cocoon. No idea. Do you have a design principle that you follow? Nope. Those. Wait, no. Yeah, they would go. And then the extra rod with the hooks on it as well. That. That's sort of an interesting look, right? How does it work? No idea. No idea how it works, but it just works. It works somehow. We're so close to 300k, I just realized. Quick, everyone unsub in mass. Oh god. Wait, we are? Are we close? Uh... Oh yeah. We're like a... Well, I don't know the exact number, but it's 299. 299k. That's neat. Oh, wait, how long has this guy been around? Did I not remove this guy from the fucking stream? Whoops. There you go. Shush. Shoo. Go away. Do we want these guys to be a little angled inwards? Um, it's getting close. I think I'm getting close to something that I like. It just needs to make a little more sense. Or like the inside, how that looks. Hold on, did I sketch it like previously? No. I think these lines on the outside here are too flat. Like they need some layering as well. Like half of them need to go around the other way. He bombed him. He's been there for an hour. Oh boy. Yeah, because I like it when the string spreads out into two separate layers like this. So I have to incorporate that somehow into the design. But I'm worried if I do it here, if there's like one line that goes like this, and then the other one that goes uh the other way, it'll be way too messy combined with the already existing like shuffling lines there. I mean, all of them would be crossed unified layer. Maybe it's not. It'll look like this pretty much. Just have to decide where these stick into. Yeah, just have it move. Hold on. This move out a little bit. Bigger roller. Shape we get. And then we have the shuffling thing over the roller. This layer. So we do get the overlapping lines. And then we could have, hold on. We're looking at it from the inside. We could have the big roller here, there. And then have makes no sense. Have this go somewhere. This needs to go somewhere right here. And then these guys would be sticking through. Yeah, they'd be sticking through here. Oh, I could have the lines of these go under this one. And then the second roller is here. Out. Big roller. Under big roller. Up. Yeah, that could work. I'm just gonna add two like break points here that like go through the strings just because I don't want it to get too busy. I need some like break for your eyes when you look at it. And those can, yeah, they're the ones that stick out here. I think that makes enough sense. Not like it works actually. It doesn't. It completely doesn't. This makes no sense. But I mean like it looks enough like it could possibly do something, but it doesn't actually. So hold on. Let's fully like try and figure this thing out so we can draw like a model of it. Okay, so what will be visible is we have come on. What fucking layer am I drawing on? There you go. I need some space. This is not enough to work with. I'm gonna do one side closed and one side open. So we have one roller, two rollers. Then we have big rollers here. These are static. None of these move. Then we have this outer roller that is smaller. And I'm already crashing into other drawings. And then we have the one that is all the way out in front. I'm all messing up all my tools. Oh my god, I can't... What the fuck? Ugh, I selected a tiny-ass square. There you go. And this one in front. Then for the open position, these three are connected like this. So for the open position, it would just come out like this instead. So we have the string go around these like this, crossing over. Then we have it going all the way around here. And then we have this string from the back side going around the big roller and then up into here and then disappearing into the inside. Same on this side. This. Like that. And then we have the little things. Sunset, you're a genius. What happened? What happened? Did I miss something? So there's these segments that stick out. This Tom. I'm losing it. These just go under here for some magical reason. And the other side sticks out here. And they also go under there. And then we have the string that comes in from the other angle. Here, and we want it angled like this instead. No, like here and here, and that goes into whatever fucking slot. I mean, there's a gap between here and here that we could feed it through. Why the fuck would it be going there? We could have it go through here, but there's no point in that either. Just have it go through here, I guess. We've named the machine the Fred Oscillating Machine. Or the Tom. Oh. What the fuck am I doing? My brain. Like, this looks cool, but I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah, just feed the string through here. I don't give a shit anymore. And then we want those two brackets still. I don't know where to put those. Put them on which side of the string? This side. I'm losing it. These are too close together. I drew them too close together. Hold on. I should have drawn both sides open or both sides closed. It's more confusing by just having one side open. Yeah, I gotta move this further. They're not that close together. Okay, there you go. Now we have some space. These go under this roller and disappear somewhere. I don't know, magic. And then this shit. So this roller is like these go over this. So they do cross with the ones from this line. We can weave something in there, maybe. And then have the break is there. Fuck it. Yep, that's how it works. There you go. Hooray. It works, doesn't it? Woo! It's so good and clever. Uh, why are you doing a live at 7 a.m. in the morning? Why is it 7 a.m. in the morning where you are? Huh? There you go. That's my response. We did it. It makes enough sense, probably. We'll have to figure out. Hold on. Okay, let's try and draw it from this angle. I think this image is like serviceable enough that I can like work off of it. Make it make sense. Okay, so this roller needs to be bigger. These are the inside rollers. This. this doesn't move. These don't move. Just this guy hinges outwards. Connected here. Triangles. Okay. Cool. Then there are two separate strings. One that goes this way around, and one that goes this way around. Need to have this stick out more. Stick out. Yep. One string goes there. And goes there. There. And there. So the line that they cross is up, 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 up. Go. And then that. Okay, cool. Then they just go normally around this bottom one. For whatever reason. That. And then we have the thingies go in here. They go in between the lines. And where the fuck are they going into? Hold on, and then the separating lines as well. And then cool. This makes sense. This makes sense. Trust me, this makes sense. All of this makes sense. Okay, and the head of those are here. And they feed the string under that and under this. Yes, this makes sense. You can see the heads of those here as well. Yes, this makes sense. This makes sense. Trust me. There you go. We did it. You can totally tell what it is. Can't you? Can't you tell what it is?
You can tell what it is, right? Who couldn't? Who couldn't tell what it is? Uh, okay, and we need the strings that go this way. Going. Where it needs to go in here. Your voice tells me I can. Yes, yes. Trust me. There. Fuck it. Oh! We did it! Yippee! 2 hours. Right? Like, this makes sense. What the fuck am I looking at? What the fuck is this thing? Does it look like a loom? Okay. Does it look like a loom? Is that like that's the main goal? Does it look like it can tie somebody up? I see a bicycle. Fuck off. Fuck off. It looks like it can tie somebody up, right? Like look at this. Look at all the coming out of it. Right? Stop tweaking, bro. What it does look like is an old leather briefcase. How the fuck does it look like an old leather briefcase? Readable as a loom? Yes. There you go. We succeeded. There you go. It is readable. It is readable as a loom. Sunset said so. It does look like a loom, but also uh an engine, which yeah, that is good. They add a spindle, maybe a giga spindle somewhere. If we all say it's a loom, then it's a loom. Yeah. It's close enough. I think it works. I just have to clean it up, and I'm not gonna do that on stream. I've had enough. I'm gonna go take a break from this, and most likely, if I come back and look at it again, it will make no sense. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna go take a break. This is a mess. Oh, what have I done? What have I put myself into? Why am I designing this? Nobody asked me to do this. Okay, take care everybody. I hope I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to clean this up and I'm gonna post it on YouTube. Like, it's gonna look better than this, alright? Trust me, it's gonna look better than this.